You know that feeling when you're scrolling through endless speaker options, trying to picture how they'll actually sound in your living room, and the thought keeps nagging you, what if I spend all this money, and it ends up being a disappointment? It's a real risk, especially when you're looking at a full-stack system that includes floor speakers and a sub. You want the bass that feels solid, the mids that stay clear when you're watching movies, and the highs that let a vocal line shine without sounding brittle. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The ELAC DF63 floor speakers paired with the PS350 powered subwoofer aim to cover all those bases in a single bundle. The two 6.5-inch floor speakers come with a custom aluminum tweeter, which is a little unusual for this price range and promises a more detailed treble response. The woofers are made from Aramid fiber, a material that's typically found in high-end drivers because it's stiff and light, so the bass should stay tight rather than flabby. On the sub side, the 12-inch driver is backed by 350 watts of bash, balanced armature super high amplification, and the unit offers an auto EQ that tailors the low-frequency output to your room using the ELAC app. In practice, that means you can drop the sub into a cramped apartment and let the software smooth out the peaks that would otherwise make the bass feel boomy. If you're a movie enthusiast who likes to feel every explosion, but also enjoys a clean, music-first setup for vinyl nights, this bundle is worth a serious look. The floor speakers are tall enough to sit on a stand or lean against a wall, and because they have a minimalist black finish, they blend into most DCO without screaming audio gear. In a real-world test, a friend who set them up in a mid-size living room reported that dialogue in action films stayed intelligible even at higher volumes, while the sub's auto EQ kept the low end from rattling the windows. The combination of a precise tweeter and a firm, controlled bass driver makes the system surprisingly balanced for both cinematic and musical content. Who should consider buying this? First, anyone moving into a new place and wanting a complete 2.1 setup without hunting down separate components. The inclusion of the app-controlled sub eliminates the guesswork that usually comes with manual crossover settings, so if you're not comfortable tweaking EQ curves, the auto EQ does the heavy lifting. It also suits listeners who value aesthetics, the black cabinets, and sleek sub look at home alongside modern furniture. On the flip side, if you already have high-end bookshelf speakers and just need a sub, you might be overpaying for the floor speakers you'll never use. Similarly, if you live in a very small studio where floor speakers can't fit, or would dominate the space, a set of compact bookshelf speakers might make more sense. Now for the practical strengths and weaknesses you'll notice after the first few weeks. The biggest win is the ease of integration. You connect the sub via a single RCA cable, power it up, run the app, and let the auto EQ scan the room. There's no need to dig into the sub's internal menus or measure SPL levels with a microphone. The speakers themselves have a decent dispersion pattern, so you don't have to sit dead center to hear a balanced soundstage. You can place them a little off-axis and still enjoy a cohesive image. The Aramid fiber woofers keep the mids from getting muddy when the bass kicks in, which is a common complaint with budget floor speakers. However, there are trade-offs. The 6.5-inch drivers, while well-engineered, can't move as much air as a larger 8-inch or 10-inch floor speaker, so in a very large room you might feel the bass thinning out at higher volumes. The sub's 350 watts is ample for most apartments, but in a home theater with a big screen, you may need to push it close to its limits to match the impact you'd get from a dedicated 12-inch sub with 500+ watts. Also, the auto EQ is convenient, but not a replacement for a manual calibration if you're a true audiophile who wants to fine-tune every frequency band. Bottom line, the ELAC DF63BK floor speakers together with the PS350BK subwoofer give you a solid, rear ditto play 2.1 system that looks good, sounds coherent, and removes a lot of the guesswork that usually comes with setting up a subwoofer. If you're buying speakers for the first time, don't want to spend hours chasing EQ curves, and have a medium-sized room where the speakers can sit comfortably, this bundle offers a compelling mix of style, technology, and performance for the price. If you already own high-end speakers, or need a solution for a very large space, you might look elsewhere. Either way, it's a package that lets you start listening right away without feeling like you've cut corners. If you think this could be the right fit for your setup, remember the link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon.